So first question, boom. How long does it take to learn Dutch? So please take a guess, okay? Do you think 1 year, 2 years, 1 month, 2 hours? Just write something in the chat and press enter. Not yet, but press enter after I count from 3, 2, 1, 0, okay? So think about it, maybe 10 more seconds. Until, good question, sorry. I mean until general fluency, so like B2 level. From 0 until B2 level for English-speaking people, how long do you think it takes? Okay, and then when you're ready, please press enter after 3, 2, 1, enter. Okay. Oh, okay, I see lots of time periods, right? 4 years, 9 months. And Jorge Diaz was very smart, and he thought, well, it matters a lot how much you study, right? You can maybe do 2 months, but then you need to study and not sleep. So yeah, he said 500 hours. Nice. So there is more or less an answer to this, actually. So there's a language difficulty ranking made by the Foreign Service Institute, FSI, and they created a list to show the approximate time you need to learn a specific language as an English speaker. And I'll tell you first where it comes from. What they do is they educate diplomats to be able to work abroad in a foreign language. And they calculated the amount of hours then they needed to train these diplomats. So you need to know that the people they trained were very smart, and they usually already spoke, besides English, already another language. Not always. Then they created a list of 5 categories, 5 being the most difficult and 1 being the easiest. There you go. This is the website, a language difficulty ranking. And they calculated until speaking 3, general speaking proficiency. And that's more or less a little bit more than B1. So somewhere between B1 and B2, meaning that you can do a lot of things in Dutch, but you won't be perfect. Let's say that you want to learn Chinese. It's 2,200 hours, according to them. And this is classroom hours. So besides that, you need to do more or less the same amount of other things at home. So then you get 4,400 hours, which is crazy. And then level 1, category 1, languages closely related to English. You see Dutch over here. So around this amount of classroom hours it takes to learn Dutch. And then the same amount of homework and other activities. So 600 hours. This number, please write down this number, because it's a very important number. So that's a language difficulty ranking. But there's a lot of buts here, because 600 hours, let's look at this. On the left, you see the amount of hours. On the right, you see the level that you're at. So here, a low A2 level, this is around 50 or 75 hours. It will take you to go from 0 to a real A1 level, yeah? Then here, 150, the B 300, 900, and then it goes up. So you see, the higher you get, the more hours it takes to get to the next level, right? Most of you already knew that, but I noticed that not everyone knows that. They think you do 1 course for A1, 1 for A2, 1 for B1. It's not like that. Usually it's like A1, 1 course. A2 takes you 2 courses. B1 takes you 3 courses, right? So that's more or less how it goes. So why the 600 hours? Well, after 600 hours, you're somewhere here. And I noticed with some students that were super lucky, and they basically, their boss paid me to teach them 40 hours a week. And what we did is we had a whole Excel sheets with their amount of hours that they put in Dutch, like in general. And my experience is that around 600 hours, people do reach this B1-ish level for English-speaking people, I mean. And then again, I worked also with relatively smart people. So people that already went to university, that had a master's degree, right? So there's a lot of buts here. If you never went to university, if you didn't go to school in your life, of course, you will need a lot more hours. If you already speak 4 languages, well, you'll be a lot faster maybe than 600 hours. If you speak German, you'll also be faster. And then, of course, if you don't speak English, oh man, it will take you a lot longer. So also, I hear a lot from expats like you that speak English that say, yeah, if you don't speak English, it's a lot easier to learn Dutch because then you can practice with everyone, because otherwise they switch to English. I mean, I understand, but this is not true, because if you don't speak English, it will take you 2 or 3 times longer to learn Dutch. So all of you guys are really lucky because you already speak the language that is a brother of English, right? English and Dutch and German, we're brothers. So how long does it take to learn Dutch? Well, 600 hours to be around the independent user point. Let's say 1200 hours for a B2 level, so full fluency. Then you won't have any big language issues anymore. You can read, you can understand Netflix series, things like that. And of course, if you want to speak perfect Dutch, have de and het under your control, it takes your whole life. But yeah, your whole life is not an interesting answer, right? We want to try and have some numbers to hold on to. So my advice is write down the 600 hours and work towards that. So is Dutch difficult? Well, no, it's category 1, right? Compared to other languages, not difficult. I mean, if you answer this question in another way, like, is it difficult, for example, compared to learning something else? So learning how to juggle with 3 balls and learning Dutch, well, then Dutch, of course, is very difficult because you can learn how to juggle with 3 balls in maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. Just a random example. So of course, Dutch is difficult. It takes a long time, but compared to other languages, it's not the case. This is my number 1 and 2 advice for you. Number 1, focus on putting in more hours, because then you'll know you'll get better, right? Even if your method is wrong, even if you're not good with languages, if you put in more time, you will get better. And this is more important than everything else I'm going to say, okay? So if you forget everything, but you put in more hours of Dutch without having any idea what you're doing, you will also get better. So that's why the second advice comes from is track your hours. That's what I'm doing, for example, with Persian now. I have this Excel sheet. It's not beautiful, but it's very useful. So I have a journal, a diary, the date is on the left. I write down more or less what I do here, and then I count the hours. And I know that if the total amount of hours goes up, then my Persian will get better. It's as simple as that. Then, of course, there's a lot of things you can do to learn Dutch more effectively that we'll talk about. But if you forget everything and you just track your hours, you're also doing fine. I know I said that already 3 times, but it is very true.